Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, the chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are, light warriors and light bodies, all out there. I send you all my love and light, a flash for miles as we go through these transits that we're going through. So I want to start grounded and rooted in love and compassion. I haven't done that in a while, but I like to start there grounded and rooted because I need to be grounded, because this message is galactic, and I'm here to bring to you the galactic news for which we shall infuse as you so do what you do in any way that you choose. I'm just saying. I'm really excited about this news. It's a retrospective look at the retrograde. That's what we're talking about. And I'm Akila Textry, in case you didn't know. And I want to share and shed some light. Like, this is an exciting, this is news fresh off the pot. Hot off the pot, fresh download. Like, all my downloads pretty much are like, I just got it either today, yesterday, maybe a few days ago. But this one just hit today, and it's like, poof. So I'm going to share that with y'all, and it's something that has to do with retrograde. So, just in case people are like, what are you talking about, retrogrades? And all of this, of course, I'm always speaking to you from the 5D consciousness. So all of this has to do with how we're integrating. At the end of it, you'll see as I wrap it up, it really does help explain how we are to be integrating into this new earth consciousness by understanding, to overstand, to understand how these things affect us, how these cosmos, it's really the cosmos. As I always say, the universe is not just out there. The universe is you. You are the universe. There's a universe inside of you, and it's very intrinsic energies. And when I get through this, you will see how intrinsic it really is. Like, it blew my mind, and I know it'll blow yours too, for those who would choose to know. And these books, let me just disclaimer, it's no book. If you could Google try Googling whatever it is I'm going to tell you, Google don't got it. It's not in no books. It's the book of life. It's from going to that book of life within, and you really tap into some call it the Akashic records, some call it the book of life, but there's a infinite library within all of us that is encoded in all of us within our DNA. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day, because I would really have to go into that. That's another topic that I have coming up that we must kind of venture into about our DNA codes, and I want to get into that. But this is about the retrogrades. So let's think about what we call retrogrades. Usually when people call something a retrograde, it's as if the planet is moving backwards, right? But in science, they tell you, if you can pull that up in Google, and they'll tell you it's an appearance, an optical illusion. It is not that the planet is moving backwards, because let's just be real, like, right, with let's say cosmic common sense, universal common sense, everything goes forward. Nothing ever goes backwards when it comes to the laws and the principles of the universe. It's always upward and onward, even though it may appear as if someone is going backwards, even though it may appear that someone is descending. It is even in their descent that they are actually ascending. So even with the planets, it is an appearance that they are moving backwards, when in reality that's not what's happening. So what it is, to get an understanding of what the optical illusion is, for those who don't know, because believe me, I've been rattling my brain like, what do you mean? Are you going backwards or not? What do you mean it's an optical illusion? What makes it an optical illusion? Of course, it has to do with our perspective, as well as the perspective of the other entity or energy or whatever it is. So the retrograde is really, when they say an optical illusion, a really simple example is as if you, and I know this happened to everybody, if you're in a car and let's say you stand still, but the other car starts moving, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, we moving? What's going on? That's the same effect pretty much of what's happening in a retrograde. Because when you think about it, some planets move faster than others. So while some are moving, the inner planets move faster. While they're moving, the outer planets are more, it appears as if they're still, because they're not moving. We're going like this, and they still just like, they move very slow. It's like, oh, you still there? Earth goes around. It's like, oh, you still there? You still there? The outer planets are still there. So while they are still, let's say, parked, their car is parked, the other cars are moving. So it appears as if someone's moving backwards. When what? Whenever they're passing. Right? So this is like, yeah, this is just, it was a beautiful download and information from me. So I'm going to read the download, and as I go through it, of course, we can share it. We'll go into it some more. I'll explain it some more as I go through it, right? I'll narrate it some more. But have your own narrative. As you're listening, use your own insight as well to see how it perks up for you and what it sparks inside of you. So it says, right, the planets appearing to retrograde are due to their coming into a passing with us, or us passing them, right? Because we pass the outer planets. The inner planets are passing us faster, and we're passing the outer planets faster, right? So either them passing us or we passing them. The retrograde holds an effect according to the energy properties that are held by the constellation they're positioned in during the time of passing. So even understand that. Please open your minds, understand everything is intrinsic. It's an intrinsic design. So it's not just the fact of passing. Keep in mind that it also matters what constellation they're in. Where is their constellation? So again, by the constellation that they are positioned in during the time of their passing, that matters. This understanding helps to stand over the view that everything revolves around you, right? But rather it is to hold the true perception that it is an interactive transit where the determining factors include how you are evolving around everything. So this really changes the scope of our view. As I was getting this, coming, it's like, wow, like it really changes the scope of our view, because as planets, as Earth, we tend to say, oh, this planet is here, this planet is there, as if all the planets are just shifting around us and we're just here. Here's Earth, and everybody's just, oh, and there's Venus, and there's that one, and there's that one, and it's just moving all around us, as if we don't play a part in the movement, in the transit of this, as if we don't hold the vibration of our own. Does anyone stop to think, hey, what sign are we in? We talk about all the other planets, but we can't. And look it up on Google, ask them, and it's going to tell you. It can't give you an answer of what sign that Earth is in, because then it starts to tell you that it is given from the perspective of where Earth is. The position of where all the planets are given in the perspective of where Earth is. So that, again, that's me. If you think about Earth as a person, it's like out of the whole solar system, it's like I'm just me and everybody revolves around me, right? So it kind of gives the explanation. We then therefore realize that the explanation that even scientists give us and all of that has to do with it being it's them. It's everything out there. It's them, and it's not me. I'm just sitting here. It's just me, little old Earth. So even in an educational, scientific view, it's as if everything else revolves around the Earth. And so it's reminding us here that that's not the case, right? It's also that where we are, so everything, but it rather holds the fact that, okay, determining factors is that we're evolving around everything, right? So as it goes on, it is through this perspective dance with the cosmos that you will learn, we will learn, so it is with you, that will help the transitioning of the integration while experiencing the new Earth shift. So what does that mean? It's when we pay attention to the cosmos. Again, I tie this to why I say the cosmos are you. You are the universe. As we always say, as above, so below. Right? So as it is out there in the cosmos, so it is in you. The cosmos are not here to just do us a favor, although they do help us in understanding how we are interacting with the energies. But it is also to understand that we play a part in the positioning with them as we pass them. So it's not just they revolve around us. It's an interactive interchange between all of us, the planets, Earth. We're all doing a shake and a move and a whole cosmic dance. So, but it's saying that what we will learn, what we can learn from it, if we truly study it and take it in and parallel it to us, we will learn that so it is with us. And it will help us in our transitioning, because we're transitioning into integrating into the new Earth 5D. So somebody might be saying, okay, so how does that help? Well, it's as simple as this. It's helping to get us from the egoic views, which I will further, there's a little bit more to read there about coming out of the egoic shadows. So it's really understanding that as we interact with one another, if we do like the cosmos, right? And we realize that it's not really a retrograde. Nobody's moving backwards. Nobody's moving away from you. Like, think about all these relationships that are kind of, people are having problems as the earth is splitting and there's some separations being had. But even those separations are an optical illusion, just as the retrograde is. We have to take a retrospective look, meaning relook, look back at it and look at, really get a different spectacle, a different vision on what's happening. And when we stand in a high heart, in an understanding of the love center, of the love frequency, compassion, and understanding this very concept of retrograde with people as it is with people, we will know that it's only retrograde, an appearance of a retrograde happening. And it's only, you just have to wait some time until we pass again under a different circumstances where we may be in different constellations. So it's about where I am in my constellation and where are you in your constellation as we are passing. And sometimes, depending on where we are in our perspective constellations, we get some kind of friction. In some passings, we may have a cohesion. And in some passings, we may have a friction. Right now, there's a lot of friction happening with people as we're entering into 5D. There's a lot of friction because you have to realize that you're in a different constellation. You're in a different timeline reality. So there's some confusion there. There's some friction. But then we have to find those that as we're passing, there is a cohesiveness. And those are your soul tribes. That is the cosmos trying to bring you together with your soul tribes, if we choose to pay attention. So it's really helpful if we understand this and we apply this to our everyday life of understanding the retrograde of the planets. You will just understand, oh, that's retro. That's how I'm seeing it now. Like, this just blew my mind. This is going to be my new vocabulary. I'm just saying, I'm sharing it with you, but it's going to be my new vocabulary. And the more we are practical with this, that's why I want to use it in my vocabulary, the more it becomes a reality. So as we're interacting, interfacing, interchanging, everything with everyone out there, it's, oh, you're retro. We're retrograding. And it's just an optical illusion because nobody's really moving backwards. Right? Just like the planets aren't moving backwards. Nobody's really moving backwards. So I say that to share that it's really an amazing time just seeing all this come together. And when we have this understanding, we have an overview and we can see it for what it is. And rather than getting all caught up in, oh, it's a retrograde, we just say, yeah, it's retrograde activity. Someone's appearing to be still, someone's appearing to be moving, and we're in different constellations. And it'll help us as we move further because we don't take anything personal. We don't have this, it's you. We understand it's both of us. It's me too, because it's how I'm passing you. It's the transit that I'm in as I'm passing you. What does that mean? It's the resonance. How are we resonating? What are the vibrations that we are holding? And that's a topic to have at another time too. That it was a whole separate download about holding vibrations. And I will share that with you in another video as well. So this one says, let me finish this up, wrap it up. It is through this new view shift in consciousness that ones will dissolve the egoic shadows that narrow the scope in holding the vibrations that all is pertaining to you without attaining to the considering factors that it is you pertaining to them within the resonance in the position that you hold in your passing by. So let me say that again, because I don't think we hear that, but you don't hear me though, right? So it is through this new view shift in consciousness that ones will dissolve the egoic shadows of just seeing things from an egoic concept, that ones will dissolve that, right? That these egoic shadows, when they dissolve them, that narrow the egoic shadows that do what? Narrow the scope in holding the vibrations that all is pertaining to you, because it's not. Without, it's like it is about you, but it's also not just about you, right? That all is pertaining to you without attaining the considering, are we hearing that? Consideration, compassion, love, frequency affords that. Without considering the factors that it is you pertaining to them within the resonance in the position that you hold in your passing by. So it's really you. It's really, really us if we truly understand it. So in actuality, it is you who is the main determining factor in the transit interchange as it holds according to how you are experiencing the resonance. I have faith that we get that. It's really you. If only a lot of us can understand that. So breaking the paradigm, breaking old concepts is going from an egoic standpoint, even as the scientists teach us that all these planets go around. Let's change our concept and remember, no, we go around some planets. Let me explain this to you. The reason why, and you can look this up for yourself, the last 3 outer planets, which are Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, they retrograde once a year. Once a year, annually. Why is it that they retrograde annually? I'll tell you why. Because we, the earth, we go around the sun annually. So what does that mean? As it is according to us, we set the tone for the retrograde, the appearance of a retrograde with the outer planets, because we move faster. We're moving annually. So every year, annually, there's an appearance of a retrograde, and it depends on what constellation we are in, as well as that planet. That determines the friction or the cohesion that we will be having during that said retrograde. And so it is with us. It is how we're moving. And I want to really specifically say this to those people that are more 5D inclined, because it seems that we're moving faster, right? We're more attuned with the higher frequencies, therefore we're moving faster. So it's like we're like Earth, and other people that are the masses or whatever, they're like the outer planets that may be moving a little bit slower. So keep in mind that the retrograde is really us. It's not them. We're the ones that's moving around even faster and faster, and it always depends on where we are in our particular constellation in our time of passing with them, and the time that we come into, because everything is vibrational. So when I say passing, I mean as we interact, it is a passing, whether in person or over the phone, because energy is energy. As long as you have some kind of energetic exchange or whatever with them, that determines the passing. That determines what's happening. So it's really for us to understand this, and this will really help us, those 5D people transitioning, even those who are just waking up, transitioning, understand what these retrogrades really mean. Don't be fearful of them. It's really helping us to know who and what is where. Like, where am I? Where are you? And it's not just you, it's me. And it's not just me, it's you too. Because just as I am having a feeling with this, let's say I'm the one that's feeling the retrograde, I'm Earth, I'm moving faster than the outer planets, right? And so we have to think about the other person as well. In our experience, it is actually, as it says here, it is actually, in actuality, it is us. We're the main determining factor in this so-called transit interchange, because we're the one that's, moving. And so to someone else, right, it's all perspective and perception. To someone else, let's say the other person that we're passing by, to them, they are the main determining factor in the interchange of how they will experience that resonance in the retrograde. However you experience it, it is you who are the determining factor. So it's like I said, it's about you, but it's not all about you. You are the main determining factor of how it's going to happen, based on your resonance. But keep in mind that that person is also an entity of their own and an energy of their own that has their own resonance. But the main way that it's going to resonate with them depends on them. And I really especially want to say this to people who have gifts, empaths, especially becoming more empowered. Understand that when we feel other people, we have to understand that it's really us, but we're feeling it through them. as we are passing, as we are interchanging. But we have to remember that it's really us. We are the main determining factor. So even whatever it is that we pick up in them, understand that there is a resonance that you are holding. And that is why you can pick up the friction or the cohesion that you are having with that person. So whether it's good or bad, whatever you want to call it, don't just look at it as I have this gift so I feel other people. Understand that you are feeling you. You are the main determining factor. So it is you and the resonance that you have, the vibrations that you hold, the charges in your vibration that you hold, which has been activated upon passing them in their resonance. There's something that they're carrying in their resonance that pings back to you, and then boom, now you're feeling this. But it's not just them. It is really you. It is both of you, but you are the main determining factor. And when we look at this, people, we will integrate with wisdom, knowing that it's not just people out there. It's really us. And so we're not so quick to point the fingers and blame them, even though they may be doing something on the outer level or whatever surface level. They may verily be doing something. But it's for us to go into our higher realms of understanding, understand, to overstand, to understand what's really happening in retrospect. So this is why I'm saying take a retrospective look at the retrograde. And it's really teaching us how we are to integrate as we move forward in this space and time that's so divine, with the message that are so sublime. I'm just saying. This was a beautiful, beautiful message. I'm glad that I could share this with you. Whoever this helps, please share it for people who want to know retrogrades, what they really are, what they really mean intuitively. Get inside your own book of life and get an understanding, to an understanding for yourself. And also apply these principles. Everything I share right now is to help for us to apply these principles as we transit into the next new earth, into the new age. It's going to help us have a smoother transit when you know how to maneuver with these energies, when you really understand how these energies are, interfacing and interchanging. And these are some beautiful times, and we have a major shift coming up ahead, and I'm going to keep reminding us of that when Pluto enters into Aquarius. So understand. And then the first retrograde will happen when Mercury goes into retrograde in April. So let's be diligent and let's really check our retrogrades. It's really not what we think it are. Let's remember the optical illusions. So with that said, love you all, your positive vibrations in my heart. Remember that the Divine Chakra Moon Workshop is coming up in actually 2 days. So if you are interested in knowing more about yourself, and we're going to be doing more astrological talks like these as the galactics give me more and more information, and I'm going to be sharing that more and more. So each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Peace, love, and light.